So the topic we're going to look at today is Leaving Cert Algebra, and it's going to be the first of the videos to do with algebra. So what we're going to look at today is just some of the basics that are important in algebra and that you'll go on to use in other topics within maths. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is BIMDAS. Okay, and you may have heard this as birdmass or BAMDAS. They're all the same thing. All this means it's the order in which we do maths. Okay, so the order that we solve our equations. So the B is our brackets. So we do what's inside the bracket first. The I is our indices. So if we have any powers, so like a square or a cube, we do them next. M is multiplication. D is division. So we do our multiplying and our dividing next. Then we do our adding and subtracting. Okay, so that's the order in which we will solve equations in any aspect of maths. Okay, the next thing that we need to look at is the use of negative numbers. Okay, so addition and subtraction with negative numbers, and your calculator is helpful for that. But if we have in multiplication or division, if we have a minus number and we multiply it by a minus number, we get a positive. If we have a positive number and we multiply it by a positive number, we also get a positive. But if we have a positive number and we multiply it by a negative number, we end up with a negative. Okay, so that's really, really important when we go to rearrange and solve equations. If you're changing the operation in an equation, so if you're bringing something from one side of an equation to the other and you're bringing the sign with it, you have to make sure that you're taking the sign into consideration when you're solving. Okay, so the next thing to think about in algebra is simplifying expressions. And all this means is that we add our like terms. Okay, I will always equate it to apples and oranges, and that if you have a bowl of bananas and apples, you just have fruit. You can't add an apple and a banana. Okay, so we have 2x minus 3y plus 4 minus 3x plus 5y minus 2. If we're asked to simplify that, we can't add an x and a y because we can't add an apple and an orange. We can't add a y and a 4 because that's an apple, an orange and a banana. Okay, so what you need to do is simplify by grouping your terms that are the same or that are alike. So let's start by marking our x. So we have an x here and we have an x here. We have a y and a y, and we have a number and a number. So we can rewrite this by grouping our terms. So we've got 2x minus 3x minus 3y plus 5y plus 4 minus 2. Now that's going to make it easier to simplify. So we've got plus 2 minus 3, so that's going to be minus 1x minus 3 plus 5. So that's going to be plus 2y. Plus 4 minus 2 is going to be plus 2. Okay, so we've simplified our expression by adding or subtracting our like terms as normal. Okay, so if I was to say add a bracket in here, following BIMDAS we do our brackets first. So we need to be able to multiply out the brackets. Now generally if you see a number on the outside of a bracket and no space like this, that means that you multiply whatever is inside the bracket by what's on the outside. So this bracket can be multiplied out because we're saying we have 2 multiplied by x minus 3. So it's 2 multiplied by x plus 2 multiplied by minus 3. So that's going to give us 2x, because it's 2 multiplied by x, minus 6, because it's 2 multiplied by minus 3. If we have an example with 2 brackets, so for example 2x minus 3, and we multiply that by x plus 5, we can do it and rewrite it out, or we can use the box method. Okay, and the box method is really easy to keep track of where your different variables and coefficients are going. Okay, so we've 2x minus 3 and we have x plus 5. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. You could put your x plus 5 up here and your 2x minus 3 down here. It doesn't matter. So what goes into this box is this multiplied by this. So 2x multiplied by x is going to give us 2x squared. X multiplied by minus 3 is minus 3x. 5 multiplied by 2x is plus 10x. And plus 5 multiplied by minus 3 is minus 15. Okay, so we can just rewrite out what's in the box. Okay, so we rewrite this and we may need to simplify. So we have 2x squared minus 3x plus 10x minus 15. We can add our like terms, or subtract in this case. We have 2x squared minus 3 plus 10 is plus 7x minus 15. So we've multiplied out this bracket and it gives us this quadratic equation. And we'll look at in another video how to solve quadratic equations. Okay. So the next thing that I want to look at is solving and rearranging equations. Okay, so the main thing that we have to remember, if we have an equal sign, if something is plus on one side, when it goes over to the other side, we minus. So minus turns into a plus, a multiply turns into a divide, and a divide turns into a multiply. Okay, so that's the main thing that we need to remember when we're solving equations. So if I say to solve 5x minus 3 is equal to 2x plus 9, I bring all of my x's to one side. Okay, so I've got 5x minus 2x, because it's plus 2 on this side, so we bring it over the other side and minus it. We're minusing 3 on this side, so we bring it over the other side and we plus it. So 5x minus 2x gives us 3x, and 9 plus 3 is 12. Now, we're multiplying by 3 on this side, so to get x by itself, we bring that 3 over and divide. So x is equals to 12 divided by 3, so x equals 4. Okay, and if you wanted, you could go back and check. So you could plug that value for x in, and you'd get 20 minus 3, so you'd get 17 is equal to 2 by 4 is 8, plus 9 is 17, so 17 is equal to 17. Okay, you don't always have to do that. Okay, but what happens then if we're given a fraction? Okay, so if we say 4x over 5 minus x over 2 is equal to 3 over 4. Okay, so initially that looks a little bit difficult. So what we have to do is find the LCM. And the LCM is the lowest common multiple. Okay, so what we're looking for is the smallest number that 5, 2 and 4 will go into. And in this case, it is 20. Okay, so we multiply everything by 20. So we have 20 multiplied by 4x divided by 5 minus 20 multiplied by x over 2 is equal to 20 multiplied by 3 over 4. And now we can cancel. Okay, so I'm going to do this in a different colour. 5 goes into 5 once and into 20 4 times. 2 goes into 20 once and into 20 10 times. And 4 goes into 4 once and into 20 5 times. So we can rewrite our equation. So we're left with 4 multiplied by 4x minus 10 multiplied by x is equal to 5 multiplied by 3. So we have 16x minus 10x is equal to 15. Yeah? And if we rearrange this and solve this, we get 6x is equal to 15. So x is equal to 15 divided by 6. Okay, so there's a good example of this question on 2019 paper 1 question 4a. Okay, there's an example just like this. So in the next video we'll be looking at other aspects of maths or of algebra.